Dear students, myself Sneha Sarikamurthy, Assistant Professor from Global Academy of Technology. In this session, we'll look into the other part of the module 3, that is employee involvement. So, what is this employee involvement? Employee involvement, it refers to any activity in an organization by which employees participate in work-related decisions and improvement activities with the objectives of tapping the creative energies of all employees and improving their motivation. So, the range of activities involved in employee involvement approaches are: what are those activities mentioned in the definition of employee involvement are: sharing of information, providing input on work related issues, making suggestions, self-directed responsibilities such as setting goals, making business decisions, and solving problems in cross-functional teams. That is, what is this cross-functional teams? Group of people including from finance, marketing, operations, and human research departments with different functional expertise working towards a common goal. So, in order to make the employee involved in their work, the required concept is called motivation. What is this motivation? Motivation is the knowledge of motivation helps us to understand the utilization of employee involvement to achieve process involvement. So, in order to understand more about this, the concept of motivation, Maslow, he is one of the first and most popular motivation theory was developed by Abraham Maslow. According to him, motivation can be explained in terms of hierarchy of needs, and there are 5 levels of the motivation. They are survival, security, social, esteem, and self-actualization. These are the 5 levels as mentioned in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, in order to understand what is this survival is, survival, it includes the basic needs such as food, clothing, and shelter, which is provided by a job, and an organization has to realize the basic needs for its employees, and this is done in many of the organizations. And level 2, this level is termed as security of work and job security as well. It is one of the important level that if employee is considered is secure, then he is fully motivated and work with full potential. Otherwise, it is considered as a job threat. So this is about the security. Level 3. This level relates to social level. We are not living in isolation. That is, we are social human beings. We have to coordinate socially and working as a team in a place. Within a group, it provides the chance to motivate individuals. So, as long as we are motivated socially, the work or the task can be achieved. And moving on, level 4. Level 4 relates to self-esteem. This level is achieved after a long time with lots of success. It requires advice from senior staff that value for an organization. It gives personal protocol or the status or any of the control and freedom to perform its job in an organization. Moving on, level 5, it relates to self-actualization where an individual is performing its job according to their abilities. It is the opportunity for personal development, learning and fun or creative or challenging work. Self-actualization is the highest level need to which a human being can aspire. According to Maslow, individuals are motivated by unsatisfied needs. As each of these needs is significantly satisfied, it drives and forces the next need to emerge. So, this is about Maslow hierarchy of need. Moving on, we have Herzberg's two-factor theory. He is another person who extended the general work of Maslow by using empirical research to develop the theory on employee motivation. He found that people were motivated by recognition, responsibility, achievement, advancement, and the work itself. These factors are labeled as motivators, and also his research showed that bad feelings were associated with low salary, minimal fringe benefits. What is this minimal fringe benefits is minimum or less extra benefit supplementing an employee's money in terms of wage or salary. For example, what is this in a company is company car, private healthcare, health insurance, life insurance, etc. Poor working condition, ill-defined organizational policies. So these are the bad feelings. Hence, these job related factors were labeled as dissatisfiers or hygiene factors, which are preventable. The presence of dissatisfiers or hygiene factors does not motivate employees. However, its absence results in dissatisfaction among employees. So, the presence of these dissatisfiers, if at all it does not motivate the employees also, it does not build a dissatisfaction among the employees. But the absence of motivating factors does not make the employees dissatisfied, but when they are present, they provide strong levels of motivation that result in good job performance for an individual and organization. So this is about Herzberg's two-factor theory. That is, this can be explained by taking as an example of Jindal company, where they provide all the factors, I mean all the when it is related to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, they fulfill the survival, security, social, esteem, self-actualization by satisfying all the satisfying factors. And this is more about the Herzberg's two-factor theory, and it is the continued version of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Next, we'll move on to the concept called achieving a motivated workforce. So how we can achieve a motivated workforce is, the building of a motivated workforce is for the most part an indirect process. That is, to understand more about this or the concept involved in motivated workforce are: know thyself, know your employee, establishing a positive attitude, share goals, monitor progress, develop interesting work, communicate effectively, and celebrate the success. So what are these things individually? What does they mean? Know thyself. A manager must understand their own motivations, strength, and weaknesses. The motivating manager knows the most valuable resources, people, and his success is employees achieving their goals. Know your employee. Most people like to talk about themselves. The motivating manager will ask employees and really listen to the answer. So being a manager, he learns more about the employee. He can assist the employee in directing their efforts towards satisfying their goals and well-being. Establishing a positive attitude. This is about a positive action-oriented attitude permeates the work unit. Managers are responsible for generating attitudes that lead to positive action. Respect and sensitivity towards others is essential to the development of these positive attitudes. Share the goals. A motivated workforce needs well-defined goals that address both individual and organizational need. Monitor the progress. The process of goal setting should include a roadmap detailing the journey with periodic milestones and individual assignments. Develop interesting work. A manager should consider altering the employee assignments by means of job rotation, job enlargement, and job enrichment. Communicate effectively. Effective communication provides employees with knowledge about their work until and the organization rather than giving their information. Celebrate success. Recognizing employees' achievement is most powerful tool in manager's toolbox. These are the 8 concepts can be used at all managerial levels of an organization. Next, we look into a concept called benefits of employee involvement. So, involving employees, empowering them, and bringing them into the decision making process provides the opportunity for continuous process improvement. Hence, the untapped ideas, innovation, and creative thoughts of employees can make the difference between the success and failure. Therefore, employee involvement improves quality and improves productivity also. Hence, employees can make better decisions using their expert knowledge of the process. Employees are more likely to implement and support decisions they had a part in making. Employees are better to spot and pinpoint areas for improvement. Employees' involvement reduces labor or management friction by encouraging more effective communication and cooperation. Employee involvement increases morale by creating a feeling of belonging to the organization. Employees are better able to accept change because they control the work environment. Employees have an increased commitment to unit goals because they are involved. So, these are the main benefits of employee involvement. Moving on, we have the concept called empowerment. What is this? Empowerment is, it is an environment in which people have the ability, the confidence, and the commitment to face the responsibility and ownership to improve the process and initiate the necessary steps to satisfy customer requirements within well-defined boundaries in order to achieve organizational values and goals. So, this empowered environment, what it requires is, everyone must understand the need for change, what is the required change that and the requirement of the change everyone must understand, and the system needs to change. In the system means in an organization they need to implement a change to the new paradigm. That means they need to implement new changes in their organization. The organization must enable its employees such that the employees must be involved or must accept the change, and it should be made enable for the employees to accept the change. The next concept is teams. What is this team? In the modern system of an organization, there is a sole role of teams which reflect the effort of employee involvement. However, there are some reservations regarding problem solving of quality and productivity. So, a team is a small number of people with complementary skills who are committed to a common purpose, set of performance goals, and approach for which they hold themselves mutually accountable. They also termed as group of people with common objectives and goals. Each member of teams termed as group of people with common objective and goals such that they are termed as subordinates. When a task or a work is made as a team, they can achieve the goal and the objectives of an organization. Each member of team has right to utilize its efforts, skills in its own capacity towards achievement of the goals. Effective teams are goal-centered, independent, open, supportive and empowered. So, we'll look into the types of teams. They are process improvement team, cross-functional team, natural work teams, self-directed or self-managed work teams. So we look into what are these individually. Process improvement team. It is a team of efficient workflow processes related to primary objective problem solving in an organization. Means that all procedures are simplified and faster that involves in supply chain. It includes the power of team think that makes the difference. It would help to considerable cost savings and provide better efficiency. Next, what is this cross-functional team? It is a group of people with different functional expertise, that is in the finance department, human resource department, production department. So these are the different functional expertise working towards a common goal. As I said, it may include people from finance, marketing, operation and human resource departments. Typically, it includes employees from all levels of an organization. So this is about cross-functional team. Next, we look into natural work teams. It's not the voluntary composed of members are working together in a participative environment. There is a requirement of authority and autonomy of the team for the purposes of decision making within a team. The participative approach is based on the belief that employees will be more productive if they have a higher level of responsibility for their work. Hence, there is a requirement of authority to look after how the task has been performed and for the purpose of decision making within a team. Next, we look into what is the self-directed or self-managed work teams. It performs daily operations in particular processes or a department. They are authorized to make decisions on a wide range of issues such as safety, quality, etc. Their responsibility also include processes traditionally held by managers such as goal setting, allocation of assignments and conflict resolution. So these are the different types of team and how they are involved in an organization. Next, we look into the concept called decision making methods. Decision making is a critical process towards success of a team, and below there are few processes mentioned such as non-decision, unilateral decision, hand clasp decision, minority rule decision, majority rule decision and consensus. So what is this non-decision? Once the team has been built, the team will discuss the subject extensively and not include to make decisions. It's the waste of time and it's not required for the team management. Next, we look into what is this unilateral decision. It is undertakings such as one side or party, not mutual for the purpose of problem solving, but it saves the time for an organization and the leader has a necessary information. The team has to take positive, other team would be imperial. Next, we look into hand clasp decision. It is sort of minor decision. This type of decision can carry very low group commitment. These decisions are made by two members. One suggests, the other endorses and carries it through without adequate discussion and group consideration. Next, minority rule decision. So what is this minority rule decision? There are some selected people involved in the discussion of decision making that rule their decision on majority. This happens in some organization where some individual take responsibility and needs to avoid conflict in an organization. Next, we'll look into majority rule decision. There are numerous companies that using this method, that is, it is considered as the best method or the alternate method. It is a mixture of strategy, of creativity and compromises. There are commitment that is need to be implemented, that compromise during team meeting. Next, we'll look into consensus. It is a creative and dynamic approach between all members of a group. Instead of voting in this method, majority approach is considered in a group. Using this approach, each member considered to find solution that supports the majority. Next, we'll look into the topic called effective team meetings. What is this effective team meetings? Effective team meetings eventually result into effective decision making for an organization. There are some processes that helps to achieve desired results. Meetings should be regularly scheduled. Agenda should be developed. Agenda should be listed. Periodically, the meeting should be conducted. Next, how the team is developed and the stages involved in the team development. We'll look into that. Team development is considered as one of the important factor towards performance of an individuals. It is required that every individual of team know exactly which goals need to be performed. Hence, there are 4 stages of team development, that is forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. So what is this forming? Teams are generally new teams that are learning how to work together and they are formed. Storming. Teams have moved the past the early forming stages and are now encountering some disagreements or conflict. This is natural, but teams need to find effective ways to handle conflict before they can move on to norming stage. Norming teams. What is this norming? Norming teams have successfully moved out of storming stage and are ready to move to a higher level of communication and problem solving. This is about norming and performing. Performing teams are at the highest level of performance and can perform their SWOT analysis while accomplishing their goals, that is by brainstorming, planning and decision making and performing the task involved in goals, in achieving the goals and objectives of an organization. Adjourning. It is a reserve stage considered as temporary team. There is a need of evaluation and past experiences. Most companies are lacking that. When participants change for future team, they don't consider key participant or team's contribution. It is difficult for an organization to monitor lapses in stages. Project scope is too large. So what is this about is the team and organization are not clear on what is reasonable or management is predicting, or it is for its responsibility to guide the team. Project objectives are not significant. Management has not defined what role the team will play in the organization. So this is one of the barrier. No clear measures of success. The team is not clear about its If the team is not clear about its success or the goal, then it forms a barrier in team progress. No time to do improvement work. Values and beliefs of the organization are not compatible with the team's work. Individual departmental politics interfere with team's progress. Management has to give proper team resources in order to fulfill or in order to get team progress in any of the organization. This is about common barriers to team progress. So, there are some ground values or the principles on which effective system is managed. There is a need to have progressive approach in an organization such as suggestion box that gives positive impact. There is to simplify the business processes and remove fear from an organization because it also kills employees. Every individual encouraged to participate and it is required to simplify such as paperwork, review and procedure. There is a need to respond quickly as timely decision is the requirement, otherwise it won't be beneficial. There is a need for reward in the idea that is developed so everyone feels its worth and contribution in an organization. Next, we'll look into the topic called recognition and reward. What is this recognition and reward? Recognition is basically appreciation or acclaim for an achievement or the service or the ability. It also considered as motivational factor in an organization that publicize and deliver positive contribution. Reward. It is a thing given in recognition of service, effort or achievement. It's sometimes considered as tangible items such as cash rewards or other gift. So these are the basic ways for recognition and rewards. This can be explained such that there are numerous tools involving in establishing effective recognition and reward system. It gives continual reminders so that organization regards quality and productivity. It provides visible technique for high achievers for outstanding performance. It provides specific goals to follow and also motivates employees. It boosts the morale of employees by creating healthy environment. This is and the basic and the various ways for reward and recognition. Next, we look into the concept called performance appraisal. Performance appraisal is a systematic objective assessment or evaluation of the performance and contribution of an individual. Hence, it is a systematic and objective way of judging the relative worth of an employee in performing his or her task. It is the systematic, periodic and impartial rating of an employee's excellence in matters pertaining to his present work and his potential for the better work. It also identifies employees for salary revision, promotion, transfer, demotion and layoff. How or the format of this appraisal is the type are ranking, narrative, graphic, forced choice, and also there is a requirement of communication performance expectation in the employee's performance. It helps in determining compensation. It helps the employee to plan their career. So, in order to analyze this performance appraisal, there are in terms of ranking given in terms of 1 to 10 or 0 to 5. that is from highest to lowest. Narrative, that is telling about the performance of the individual with description about the strength and weaknesses. Graphic, it is usually a pictorial representation of the duties in the performance performed by the employees in terms of the scale. This is about the graphic. And the forced choice, such that they are determined by giving in terms of excellent, good, very good, fair and poor by a predetermined percentage. For example, 10%, 25%, 30%, 25% and 10%. According to the performance of an individual, he would be rewarded and recognized. This is all about how an employee should involve in an organization for his recognition in his organization and achieving his performance in completing the task, and also by achieving the goals and objectives of an organization. Thank you.